bank on. So they have to be smart. This is a business. This is not just, people just worry about, it's a barbaric sport. People just like, oh, he should fight him. Oh, he should fight him. It doesn't work like that. That's no different from me. When everyone was saying that Floyd Mayweather was scared and he was a coward and he was scared to fight Manny Pacquiao. My thing is everybody entitled to their own opinion. And what I did, I said, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. At one particular time, the fight was worth, I was getting guaranteed, I think, $60 million. I waited till the time was right, and things were on my terms, and we were the A side, and we wanted to do things our way, and we turned a $100 million fight to a $300 million fight. Well, I can't say $300 million fight. I made $300 million, but it probably was a $600 million fight, and I think with pay-per-view, we done somewhere upwards of, now with the numbers still going, probably 5 million homes at $100 a pop. And I come up with those numbers because I tell Steven, look, Steven, for this fight, we got to charge this. For these seats, we got to charge $100,000. For these seats, we got to charge $200,000. And they're going to pay. I can't call myself Money Mayweather. I got to make money, so we got to charge them this amount of money. And I didn't, like I said before, every day, I'm just very thankful and very appreciative for everyone in this room. I want to say thank you. Because you guys have supported me, whether you rooted against me or you rooted for me. You came to see me or you watched me on TV or you watched, or what we call it pay-per-view. We no longer call it pay-per-view. But everything started with Top Rank. Everything started with Top Rank, and I don't want to say we the new Top Rank, but soon it's only going to be us in the sport of boxing. So you can't, it's only going to be Mayweather fighters fighting Mayweather fighters, but it's still competition out there. We can't overlook Golden Boy. And I know, Bernard and Oscar, they still getting good fighters because I know I'm over in California, and Robert Garcia got a lot of young guns, and I'm over there signing them. And I'm over there working hard every day. And I'm traveling every day. I'm no longer in them, you guys see me on All Access, because I can't talk about the other show I was on because Showtime gave me the biggest deal. So, but I do got love for HBO, but Showtime gave me that big money. Who I want to talk about, because it's my day, because y'all got me on the cover of the magazine, of the book, so it's my day. I want to talk about me and Leonard's relationship. When I got with Leonard, when we first got together, it was Leonard, his brother, his mother, and his father. And when he says that we're family, because I was there when Leonard lost his brother, his mother, and his father. So, and we still got a strong bond, and we're still going to stick together no matter what. Because our friendship is not based upon money. Real friendship is from the heart. No different from my friend right here, James McNair. When I met him, he was going through a lot, and going through a lot with his family. And now he's in a better position and a better predicament, and I'm happy that I'm able to touch lives in different ways. And it's not always about the money. It's not about the money. It's about what you do when you get the money. What can you do? Can you put somebody in a position and turn them into an entrepreneur so they can go out there and fish for themselves? That's what we believe in doing. Leonard is not the first guy that we made a multi-millionaire. That's no different from BwAA. He's a multi-millionaire. So what we do is we believe in taking people and turning them into entrepreneurs and teaching them how to fish for themselves. And that's what we need to teach these young fighters. What you heard before this, Floyd Mayweather's going to end up like this fighter, or he's going to end up like that fighter. Like I told you before, You can pray on my downfall, but if that's not in God's plan, that's not going to happen. What I've learned as far as business and investments, what I've learned is this. A football player makes money when he's playing football. A basketball player makes money when he's playing basketball. But when you're involved in New York real estate, you make money when you sleep. So I made some very, very smart investments over the years. I have $1.2 billion in real estate. But for the right price, I may come back. And y'all gotta give it up for the best ring announcer in the world. Jimmy Lennon, Jr. His father was spectacular, and he's great also. I couldn't choose a better guy to do my fights. I want to thank you. Who else? We got so many different people in the room. Because if I forget someone, and don't worry, you know, I can stutter, I can make a mistake. I'm not perfect. You know, God only made one thing perfect. That's my boxing record. So don't worry about that. I ran the Blade Barkley. He's either from the Bronx or Brooklyn, but I want to say the Bronx. The Bronx. He's from the Bronx. You know, he's one of the guys that paved the way for me to be where I'm at. I can remember when he fought the guy that you looked up to, the Hitman. And he was the Blade. He'd blade you. Great fighter. You know, I was really a student of boxing. Every single day I came home from school, all I did was watch VHS tapes, because back then in the 80s, it wasn't DVDs. It wasn't going to YouTube. It was all about what we call them VCR tapes, but VHS tapes, and that's what I watched every single day. And then I would go around my house and I would punch the doorknobs and I would punch the back of the chairs, and I was obsessed with boxing. I don't think no one in this room loved boxing more than me. And Kelly Swanson, my publicist. You got a little water for me? Let me get some, please. Thank you. Yeah, I can't be the man of the hour and just come up here and say, you know, be like the rest of those fighters. You know, a lot of those fighters come, you know, I do the talk with my face and say goodbye. I can't do that. Like I was saying, my publicist, Kelly Swanson, she's a beautiful person, a great person, and so many different publicists that work with so many other celebrities tried to cut her out, but I'm loyal to who I'm with. Me and her been working together over a decade. She's worked with another legendary champion, Bernard Hopkins, and every fighter that's in boxing, or every person that is in boxing, will tell you she's the same every day. We need more people like her in this world that's positive and have a great spirit. Barry Tompkins, just all the writers. I see everyone. I've been watching you from the beginning. You know, it's always a dream of mine for you to commentate one of my fights one day, and you did. And that was one of my dreams that came true. One of my dreams was to, fight on HBO. Then one of my dreams was to be the highest paid fighter, do the highest gate, and then I think out of all my children, my oldest daughter, I think she's the most happiest because she knows all about boxing. But she cannot be like Layla Ali. You know, I don't want her boxing. You know, I want her to go to college and hopefully when I'm older, she's able to run Mayweather Promotions or run these different companies that I have and, you know, take things to that next level, because that's what it's really all about. You know, giving back to our children, giving back to our peers, giving back to the young people. That's the future, to the young future writers. You guys are here and they're gonna tune in. You know, they're gonna tune in on YouTube and different websites and see different writers up here talking. You guys paved the way for the new writers and the new commentators, so you got to give yourself a round of applause. As far as when I went inside that square circle, every time I went inside that square circle, I knew mentally I can beat any fighter. Mentally I can beat any fighter, and I don't think mentally no fighter can go where I can go. My thing in the sport of boxing is this: whatever you do the best, my job is to take that away from you and make you resort to doing something that you do not want to do. And I keep doing the same thing over and over and over again if you don't catch on to it. I see why Canelo is where he's at. I see why Pacquiao is where he's at. I see why Miguel Cotto is where he at. I see why Bernard Hopkins is where he at. When I look at these fighters, it's the small things. Everything in life is timing and inches. It's the small things that get these guys and get myself over the hump. And every day I tell myself this when I look at boxing sometimes. Because every day they say, Floyd, you know you want to come back, you know you want to come back. I'm comfortable. They say, how comfortable? I said, 7 figures a month for the rest of my life. I'm real comfortable. Every month. But I needed a smart person. You know, I had to go over the paperwork first. I had to go over the paperwork first, and to get a $1.2 billion deal done, to make that happen, to make something like that happen takes 6 months. But I was smart. And what I advise every fighter to do, and every athlete to do, if you get 100,000, put 50,000 up. If you get 200,000, put 100,000 up, but never touch that money. Always put it to the side. And always, you know, what these fighters don't know and what writers don't know, how I change the sport totally is this. You have, when you think about what goes on in the sport of boxing, what was going on at first. A fighter, say if a fighter get $1 million, 10% was going to a trainer, 33 and a third was going to a manager, and then they had to pay Uncle Sam another 30%. So fighters was really ending up with what is 10% or 15% of their money. And then a lot of times people were, you know, a lot of people were writing stories and people want to know how this fighter didn't have anything. You got to realize this sport of boxing this is a dirty sport. This is a dirty sport, and only 1% of fighters make it. I mean, make it to a certain level. Only 1% of fighters make it. So if you got 10% going to a trainer, 33, well, we just say 30% going to a manager. That's 40% right there. And then another 30%, and then you got to realize the promoter is not telling the fighter, because a promoter can come to the sport of boxing. A promoter can do like this. A promoter can come in the television. I'm use Steven for instance, but he's a great guy. I'm just using you Don't worry. Okay, we'll say, just say Stephen may put up $3 million for the bout, right? Not to us. This is not to Mayweather Promotion. We're gonna say to another company. $3 million. What these promoters was doing back in the day for so many years is this. When they get $3 million, they do like this. They get the main event, they get the main guy $700,000. Then they give his opponent $300,000, and they pay the underbout some crumbs. Matter of fact, they get the main event. They get a guy $600,000, give his opponent $300,000, and they take the $100,000 and pay the rest of the car, and they have pocket $2 million. And then they keep all the money for the T-shirts, all the sponsors, and then for the gate, they keep all the money. What we did, we came to the table and did like this. We made fighters aware of what they're going to get. We said, listen, you're going to keep the lion's share, but we have to make money also. And that's what and that's why a lot of promoters didn't like when I created Mayweather Promotional, or when I became my own boss. And a lot of times people want to say, Al Heyman is my business partner. You know, a lot of times people want to say, well, Floyd Mayweather Sr. was his manager, this guy is his manager. Al Heyman was my advisor, and then we became business partners. Together, me and Al Heyman worked together, and now in the sport of boxing, I think we have 200 or 300 fighters. But that didn't happen overnight. Al Heyman is a brilliant. When I say I'm talking about when it comes to business, I mean, he's a very shrewd businessman, just like Leonard Ellaby. And it takes brains to want to surround yourself with brains. That's why I deal with guys like Al, and I deal with guys like Leonard. They got a master's degree. I cannot, I want guys that's sharp, that's going to make intelligent moves. Because if I'm somewhere overseas and someone has to make a business decision, I would say to myself, listen, what would Floyd do? And that's what I want my team to think. Like, every day my team that runs around, what would Floyd do? Because the best sense is common sense. And that's something that I have. And then, and I'm happy that I was a defensive fighter. I'm happy that I was a defensive fighter. That I was able to retire from the sport before I was 40, have all my faculties, still be sharp, and make smart investments. We need more fighters to be like this. It looks good. Of course, I don't mind watching it with the blood, sweat, and tears. I don't mind watching it, but it's not going to be me. That's not me. And they said, Floyd, he's a born fighter. I said, well, I don't mind being born if I can make over 800 million. I think we need more born fighters like me, more smart fighters. But I really want to thank everyone in this room. I want to thank everyone in this room. I want to even thank all the fighters that's out there competing and working hard. Keep up the great work. Writers, write what you feel. Every story is not going to be peaches and cream. Every story you guys wrote about me wasn't peaches and cream. But fuck it, I didn't care. But you guys as commentators, you great commentators. If you're with a network, I'm going to tell you this. Try to be as positive as you can, because once again, that keeps the sport of boxing alive. You can't be with a company and be negative on the company, because all you're doing is hurting the company that you're with. But it's great for you guys to express your opinion. And it's great for you writers to write what you guys want to write. Write what you want to write. But we know a lot of times that even like when you turn on the news every day, the first thing they show is something negative. It's not nothing positive. That's just the way of the world. Anybody else forget? I want to thank you. I really want to thank you. I really want to thank you.
always win, 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 no matter what. Cash money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step in the building, everybody hands go up. And they say that.